guide your inner transformation journey? By the end of this video, you'll know if my signature transformation journey roadmap is a match for you and can support you at the edges of change. I'm Sheila Belanger, a strategic transformation coach, and I created this channel to support you. For practical guidance on how to navigate your transformation journey at your inner edges of change and live into your fuller potential, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell so you can be notified when a new video is up every Tuesday. I have over 35 years of supporting thousands of grateful clients and students to effectively make their transformation journey at the edges of change and live into their full potential. I love helping people navigate those edges in a sacred way.
Explore the inner transformation roadmap. Use an effective map. You can feel so lost when you're at the edge of inner changes. It's very confusing. Inner edges are so challenging because at these edges, you know that your old life and identities are over, but you do not yet who you are becoming, nor where you're going. I call this the betwixt and between place, an ancient phrase that is very much about in between. You're not there and you're not there. You're in this place of unknown, betwixt and between. You need a map to help you navigate unfamiliar inner territories. Transformation Journey Roadmap is a guide to navigate your edges of change. This is a 6-stage roadmap. I've created it from over 35 years of working personally with clients at the edge and finding what makes for successful transformation. And these 6 stages are ones you can do in your own way, and they're very helpful. At your edge, the Transformation Journey Roadmap supports you to access effective inner transformation practices to navigate limitations, which we all have, and unleash the potential of your authentic, generative inner visionary. This map is particularly helpful for those of you who are empathetic, sensitive, intuitive, imaginative, and you've been enculturated to deny what you're picking up, to deny your own imaginative vision in your nature. This roadmap can help you navigate changes as well as help you, support you to apprentice to your inner visionary. The 6 stages of the transformation journey, this roadmap, you go on the journey in your own authentic way. Let me give you a brief overview of the 6 stages. In stage 1, you track your inner figures, and this is where you understand how key inner figures contribute to your habitual limitations. In stage 2, you make attitude adjustments, which are so important to make key mindset shifts to develop a visionary mindset. Now, stage 3, you gather your allies to cultivate sustainable relationships with inner and outer allies. Now, transformation is an inside job. You're the one who goes there. However, it is so helpful to cultivate connection with inner resources and allies and outer resources, and stage 3 supports you to do that. In stage 4, you use maps to navigate your edges, to see and track the bigger picture of your life journey. There's several fantastic developmental maps I like to use with my clients and students, so you really can see the bigger picture so you don't get lost in the forest where you can't see the forest for the trees. In stage 5, I call this Steward Your Sensitivity. Embrace self-responsibility and respect your sensitivity. This is a key stage where you stop denying how sensitive you are and you recognize it's actually a gift. And what you need to do is cultivate ways to steward it, learning how to make healthy boundaries, learning how to interpret and understand what you're picking up in a non-cognitive way, and really stewarding your sensitivity so that it's a gift and a strength in you. And then finally in stage 6, you apprentice to your inner visionary, where you learn unique ways to offer your presence to the world in mature and grounded ways. And the 6 stages have their own rhythm, and everyone goes on this journey in their own authentic way. Now, the Transformation Journey Roadmap is especially designed for those who are ready to commit to effective inner work practices of self healing, cultivating your innate wholeness, and apprenticing to your visionary intuitive nature. If that sounds like it's you, this is great for you. If you don't feel like this is resonant, it probably isn't a very effective roadmap for you. So it's good to kind of test that out, check that out. Now, is that you? Are you the one that feels you're ready to go on this journey of self healing and cultivating wholeness and apprenticing to your inner visionary? I hope so. So let's explore the 6 stage transformation journey roadmap very briefly. I'm just going to give you an overview. Stage 1, track your inner figures. Understand how key inner figures contribute to your habitual limitations. We all have these inner figures. Your limiting, wounded inner figures usually try to control you with restrictive self-talk, punitive inner mantras, and dramatic fear stories. Their main territory of control is in your strategic mind. And we all have these limited, wounded inner figures. Now, your strategic mind is a primitive, binary focused part of you that tries to keep you safe from danger. It's constantly assessing your life situation: stop, go, yes, no, good, bad, etc. Now, this is important. It's not that your strategic mind is wrong. It's necessary. You want to not run a red light. You want to know and assess, is this okay? Am I safe? However, the strategic mind for most of us takes over. And so we're constantly in this binary process of go, yes, no, good, bad. And it's very superficial on some level. And we're so much more than that. And binary is for computers, not full for multidimensional beings that we all are. So self-reflection and self-tracking are key practices to stop from being held hostage by your limiting inner figures. You have to slow down and survey the scene inside. So in stage 1, you compassionately track your inner wounded figures who habitually limit you and sabotage your ability to change and grow. You can't get rid of them. As much as we'd like to banish them and exile them, it doesn't happen. You know that. If any of you have done any inner work, you know they're always with you. So you find a way in stage 1 to track them compassionately and recognize their moves in you so that you don't get held hostage. Now, in stage 2, make attitude adjustments on the roadmap. You're making key mindset shifts to develop a visionary mindset. How do you shift your mindset? Make attitude adjustments. Much easier said than done. We all know that. And it's an ongoing journey in life to track those mindsets, those limiting mindsets, and to shift them, to track the attitudes that don't really serve you, that keep you in a cage and don't allow you to grow into your full potential. Now, for thousands of years, people have practiced mindfulness meditation as a way to alleviate suffering and access their true nature. Joseph Goldstein says, mindfulness is the basis for wise action. When we see clearly what is happening in the moment, wisdom can direct our choices and actions rather than old habits simply playing out our patterns of conditioning. It's an incredible practice for awareness and for shifting mindset. So in stage 2, you practice key mindset shifts to open to your visionary mindset, including committing to a steady mindfulness meditation practice. There are other practices in the stage 2, make attitude adjustments process, but mindfulness meditation is key. And if you go and explore this roadmap with me, I'm going to challenge you to commit to a steady mindfulness meditation practice. Some of my students do only 5 minutes a day, but they do it daily. And of course, I encourage you to do more, but it's so important as a practice for connecting to your true nature and making key mindset shifts. Now, stage 3, gather your allies. Here's where you cultivate sustainable relationships with inner and outer allies. Rumi has a gorgeous poem called The Guest House, and this comes from his poem. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. We're all a huge guest house, just like this image. There are so many inner figures inside of us, ones of strength and wisdom and maturity, and ones of woundedness and pain and suffering. It's all in there. So it's honoring that we are a guest house. And you are a multidimensional being with wisdom and capabilities much greater than your inner wounded figure's limited versions of you. You can connect to inner allies, I call them wholeness allies, who have access to your inner resources. So in stage 3, one practice is to develop your wholeness by connecting with inner allies through guided imagery journeys. To go within and to connect with some of your wholeness allies. Such an important practice for gathering your resources and gathering your allies.
Hey there, do you feel it's time in your life to commit to effective inner work practices? It's important to think about this because it takes a lot of inner work to make changes. So worthwhile. But check in. Do you feel ready? If you do, comment below. We can all celebrate with you.
Now, in stage 4, you use maps to navigate your edges, to see and track the bigger picture of your life journey. We know that life is an ongoing maturation journey. You settle into roles and life situations until you outgrow them and need to move on. In your life journey, you may leave the home of your old self many times. And any of you who've lived any kind of life experience know you outgrow certain ways of being, identities, relationships. And it isn't even that they're wrong, it's that you need to leave because it's no longer congruent. A job, a place of living, a particular dynamic in your family. You leave the home of your old self many times. And there are many maps of the human developmental journey that help you understand challenging inner and outer changes and how to navigate them. So in stage 4, you track the bigger picture of your life journey using key developmental maps. I offer you several if you work with the roadmap with me, but also you can connect and research. There are many really potent developmental maps that help you honor and verify, yes, this is the life journey I'm on, and give you that bigger picture of seeing the arc of your life journey. Stage 5, steward your sensitivity. You embrace self responsibility and respect your sensitivity. Now, sensitivity, the way I define it, it's the awareness of the needs, emotions, and energy of others. And the bubble is here in the image because many of us who are sensitive or empathetic, sometimes we feel that fragile a boundary where we're very pervious or we don't have strong edges. And that's good in a way because sensitivity is an amazing gift. Most of us have not been raised or supported or trained. How do we carry our sensitivity in a sacred way? So that it doesn't overwhelm us and we don't get completely lost in someone else's energy or emotions, but we can hold our sensitivity in a way that is healthy and good for us and keep our hearts open. Definition of stewardship: the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. Now, I talk about two different kinds of stewardship in stage 5. One I call consensus reality stewardship, and I mean that very respectfully. Consensus reality is a term for our everyday life, what we experience with our ordinary consciousness, with our ordinary senses. It's sacred, and yet it's not the whole picture. And you and all your inner figures are entrusted to your care, and you are the one who's sensitive to all the inner figures in your guest house. Usually our inner figures act out, or we get reactive, or we get triggered in consensus reality. Human relationships, some situation happens, and some of our inner figures who are in pain or suffering or habitually reactive just get set off. And it's your challenge in stage 5 to learn how to steward some of your inner figures in your guest house so that they're nurtured and taken care of and less reactive and less hurt by the external world and situations. And there's then what I call dreamland stewardship. This has to do with your sensitivity to and awareness of multiworlds, other realities. That's also entrusted to your care. And other realities have to do with beyond our ordinary physical senses. Our intuition, our imagination, our psychic sensitivity, our empathetic nature. There are so many realities that we can touch into. And here I'm not trying to be too woo-woo on you, but just to acknowledge that there are other realities beyond the everyday. And those of us who are sensitive perceive it, and we can perceive what's called the dream doors into other realities. That's a phrase, as is dreamland, from process work psychology. Dream doors into other realities, and have the capacity to travel or open to these multi worlds. That's part of dreamland stewardship. You develop ways that you can honor your sensitivity to other realities and not get overwhelmed by it, not lose yourself in it, but be able to hold that sensitivity in a sacred and healthy way. So in stage 5, you learn to respect your sensitive and empathetic nature and how to carry it in the world with healthy boundaries and strength. This stage is one that many people stay with, my clients, my students, myself included. It's an ongoing practice of respecting our sensitivity and not getting overwhelmed and lost in our empathetic nature with the world and others. And then finally, stage 6, apprentice to your inner visionary. Offer your unique presence to the world in mature and grounded ways. And basically, in this stage, you are apprenticing to your inner visionary by weaving together the practices that you explored in the roadmap from the previous 5 stages. And you commit to using key inner practices you explored in stages 1 through 5 to apprentice to your inner visionary. It's like you go on the journey with the first 5 stages, you experientially do the practices, the different inner work practices, and you find out what works for you. And then in stage 6, you really craft a game plan and say, how am I going to keep on going? You know, how am I going to continue to apprentice to my inner visionary? Because this is a lifelong journey. So that's what stage 6 is about. Now, Kahil Gibran says, a traveler I am and a navigator, and every day I discover a new region within my soul. And the Transformation Journey Roadmap is really supporting those of you who are called to discover new regions within your soul. So are you ready to test drive the Transformation Journey Roadmap? Then take the free email challenge. I call it the Transform Toxic Fear 7-Day Challenge, and you can find the link below in the description for this video. And what it is for 7 days, you'll get 1 email from me a day, and it'll take you through the 6 stages of the Transformation Journey Roadmap with some kind of experiential exercise that you can do. It really lets you check out the roadmap to see, is it something that supports you? And also in the process gives you great practices to help transform toxic fear, which is in our current difficult times is very prevalent for so many of us. So go to that link in the description, click on it to sign up to receive the free 7-day challenge. And test drive the 6-stage Transformation Journey Roadmap to discover if it is a match for you.